Yo, it's your boy Vega Bomber and welcome to Vega Bomber Land. And this is a response video to my boy Prim, who asked me a couple of interesting questions, and so to that I'm gonna go ahead and respond. So as you know, Prim is a big WB, Warner Brothers if you will, Detective Comics fan, and me, well, I'm probably maybe a little bit more Marvel, but hey, a good movie is a good movie. And so Prim has asked me to discuss a couple of topics with him. And that first topic is about directors. So the idea is this. For 2016 and maybe beyond, he wants to know which directors will probably produce the best films. Just kind of an early prediction, if you will. And you know what? I'm kind of cool with predictions because I kind of like to feel like I kind of know something about a little something. So predictions, I can get with that. I see where you're going, Prim. So yeah, predicting. So as you know, Warner Brothers, or DC in this case, is going to go ahead and produce a bunch of films. We're going to get a Wonder Woman movie, we're going to get Justice League, we're going to get Flash, and we're also going to get Aquaman, and I'm sure there'll be even more than that. I'm sure Cyborg is down the track and a bunch of others. But the first thing that Prim asked me was, which director did I think was going to make the biggest impact with his or her film? And in my mind, I'm going to probably go with David Ayer first, because I love the work that he did with Fury, and I also loved what he also did with the other movie that's kind of slipping my mind right now. I don't know why. Oh, End of Watch. And both those movies, what they had in common was a real gritty, lifelike appeal to it. You know, Fury was very gritty. It's war. You know, and End of Watch is like a war zone inside of a very bad neighborhood, and so he covers grit well. So Suicide Squad, he could lend that to that. And so to me, in terms of interest, what I most would be interested in is I would definitely be interested in seeing David Ayer's version of Suicide Squad taken from the comics. Now, I'd also say another director that I'm kind of interested in seeing in terms of what he's going to do with his property would also be Rick Famuyiwa. He's going to do The Flash. Now, Rick, because I'm not even going to try to say that last name again. Now, Rick, you might remember from doing the movie Dope, which came out, I think, a year or so ago, which was an interesting film. It was very fun. It was about these kids that got through the everyday life of living in a horrible neighborhood through hip-hop music. They were classic hip-hop fans, and so it had its own little unique story that it was trying to tell. It was kind of interesting. So yeah, I'd kind of be interested in seeing how he's going to do The Flash. Now I know, James Caan is also going to do Aquaman. Now I know James Caan is very good because he actually already did movies like The Fast Seven, and then of course he did a great job with The Conjurings and Conjuring 2. So, or James Wan, I don't know why I'm calling him something else, but James Wan. So while I already feel like he could do a great job, I also know that Rick in this case, he's the unknown, so that kind of interests me more. Can he really do a superhero movie? Can he do The Flash? And so for that reason, and because I'm probably a bigger fan of Flash than I am of Aquaman, then I want to see what Rick F is going to do. We'll call him Rick F at this point. So those are the two directors then that I'm kind of looking most forward to see how they're going to bring their adaptations on the screen. Now, there was another question. That other question was, which film do I believe is going to have the biggest box office appeal or the biggest revenue drawn from it? Well, that's a good question, Prim, and I think I would just say it this way. Knowing that superhero films, when it's a gang of people together fighting for the good, I think that's always going to play stronger than just a solid character movie. So for example, when you look at the Marvel movies, you notice only one Marvel film hit $1 billion that was focused on just one superhero, and that was Iron Man 3. But notice no other separate Marvel standalone film, not called Avengers, could do it, could hit $1 billion. Unless of course you count Civil War, but I need to check the numbers. I don't know that Civil War's hit $1 billion, maybe it has. But if it has, a lot of people are kind of calling that 2.5, Avengers 2.5 anyway. So I'm going to have to say, revenue-wise, it's got to be the Justice League, because it's going to have everybody. Now, of course, Zack Snyder's going to direct that, but the producer is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, Ben Affleck, and we know Ben Affleck's pretty good, and he's also a pretty decent writer as well. You know, Argo in the Town are proof of that, which you talked about in your video. So I've got to say that Justice League is probably going to crush it, just for the simple fact that people want to see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman all together. What would that look like? You know, it's a way to get all your favorite superheroes in one film, so I think it's going to follow that trend. So I've got to believe that the biggest revenue, despite how people feel about Zack Snyder, has got to be Justice League. And I'll say this, followed closely by Wonder Woman. Absolutely. I think Patty Jenkins is going to do a great job, because I think it's a timely film. They're going to beat Marvel to the punch in terms of having a superhero movie that's led by a female. So I think that Wonder Woman is going to do extremely well. It may even hit $1 billion itself, but looking at the current trends, I have to go with Justice League. So the winner in that's going to have to be Zack Snyder. Now, I'll say for this year, 2016, I think the best Warner Brothers DC film is going to be Suicide Squad. So Suicide Squad is going to be good. I think David Ayer is going to make a bunch of people happy with this film, because everybody saw what happened to Batman v Superman. Not that it was a horrible film, but for the names of the people that are in that film, Batman and Superman, you would have thought that that film should have risen to a level that should have been a lot better, but didn't quite get there. But I think David Ayer is going to surprise us all with Suicide Squad. I bet you Suicide Squad is going to be excellent. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm the Vega Bomber, and once again, I'm doing this with my boy Prim. So Prim and I are doing this, letting you fans know, all you movie fans out there, all you superhero fans know, that the movies are still good. They're still going to be great. We got to surf through the mediocre ones, but every now and then there will be gems. And the movies that I listed and the movies that Prim listed are the gems. Anyway, it's your boy Vega Bomber, and I'm out. You.